1. Rameswaram, birthplace of Dr. Abdul Kalam, included as 498th town under AMRIT. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 2. Government policies and interventions for development in various sectors and issues arising out of their design and implementation. Why recently in news? Rameswaram, birthplace of Dr. Abdul Kalam, included as 498th town under AMRIT. Union Ministry of Urban Development declared that former President Dr. Abdul Kalam's birthplace, Rameswaram, has been included in Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, AMRUT, for providing basic urban infrastructure. Rameswaram is the 498th to be included in the mission. With the addition of Rameswaram, Tamil Nadu would have 32 cities and towns under Atal Mission. Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, AMRIT. In a determined bid to recast the urban landscape of the country, to make urban areas more livable and inclusive besides driving the economic growth. The Union Cabinet approved central government spending of about 1 lakh crore on urban development under 2 new urban missions over the next 5 years. The Cabinet has approved the Smart Cities Mission and the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation of 500 cities, AMRUT, with outlays of Rs. 48,000 crore and Rs. 50,000 crore respectively. Under the Smart Cities Mission, each selected city would get central assistance of R'100 crore per year for 5 years. Smart city aspirants will be selected through a city challenge competition intended to link financing with the ability of the cities to perform to achieve the mission objectives. Each state will shortlist a certain number of smart city aspirants, and city will prepare smart city proposals for further evaluation for extending central support. Mission of building 100 smart cities intends to promote adoption of smart solutions for efficient use of available assets, resources and infrastructure. Objective is to enhance the quality of urban life and providing a clean and sustainable environment. Special emphasis for participation of citizens in prioritizing and planning urban interventions. Based approach consisting of retrofitting, pre-development, TAN city initiatives and development of new cities. Under retrofitting, deficiencies in an identified area will be addressed through necessary interventions, as in the case of Local Area Plan for Downtown Ahmedabad. Pre-development enables reconstruction of already built-up area that is not amenable for any interventions, to make it smart. As in the case of Bendi Bazaar of Mumbai and West Kidwai Nagar in New Delhi. TAN city components could be interventions like intelligent transport solutions that benefits all residents by reducing commuting time. Mission will be implemented through area. Under Smart Cities Initiative, focus will be on core infrastructure services like adequate and clean water supply, sanitation and solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transportation, affordable housing for the poor, power supply, robust IT connectivity, governance, especially governance and citizen participation, safety and security of citizens, health and education and sustainable urban environment. Smart city action plans will be implemented by special purpose vehicles SPV to be created for each city. and state governments will ensure steady stream of resources for SPVs. The two missions are interlinked. UMRIT adopts a project approach to ensure basic infrastructure services relating to water supply, sewerage, seepage management, stormwater drains, transport, and development of green spaces and parks with special provision for meeting the needs of children. Implementation of this mission will be linked to promotion of urban reforms such as e-governance, constitution of professional municipal cadre, devolving funds and functions to urban local bodies, review of building bylaws, improvement in assessment and collection of municipal taxes, credit rating of urban local bodies, energy and water audit and citizen-centric urban planning. Points to remember. 10% of budget allocation will be given to states or UTs as incentive based on achievement of reforms during the previous year. This mission will be implemented in 500 cities and towns. Each towns with a population of 1 lakh and above, some cities situated on stems of main rivers. A few capital cities and important cities located in hilly areas. Islands and tourist areas will be covered. Under this mission, states get the flexibility of designing schemes based on the needs of identified cities and in their execution and monitoring. States will only submit state annual action plans to the Center for Broad Concurrence based on which funds will be released. It is a significant departure from JNNURM. Central government will not appraise individual projects. Central assistance will be to the extent of 50% of project cost for cities and towns with a population of up to 10 lakh. And 1/3 of the project cost for those with a population of above 10 lakh. Central assistance will be released in 3 installments in the ratio of 20, 40 and 40 seconds. Based on achievement of milestones indicated in state annual action plans. UMRIT seeks to lay a foundation to enable cities and towns to eventually grow into smart cities. 2. Health Ministry permits transfer of blood between blood banks. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 2. Government Policies. Why recently in news? The Union Health Ministry has decided to allow blood banks to borrow blood units from one another in case of a shortage. The ministry took this decision as part of reforms to the handling of blood units in the country. This decision is expected to sort out the issue of shortage. Earlier, donated blood could not be transferred from one bank to another. Background. A shortage of blood units has been a recurring problem since the Supreme Court, in 1998, banned paid donation. The government has been encouraging voluntary donation ever since. When the Supreme Court banned paid donation, the government was mandated, under the National Blood Policy, 2002, to phase out replacement donation in 5 years. What has been done to address the issue? Since very few people donate blood regularly, hospitals ask family members of patients to donate blood so as to preemptively replace the blood withdrawn from the blood bank. The national and state blood transfusion councils were also established in the 1990s to promote voluntary donations. According to the Central Drug Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, India has 2,760 licensed blood banks. A 2012 World Health Organization, WHO, report said 9 million of 12 million blood units needed annually in India were collected through voluntary donation. National Blood Policy. The policy aims to ensure easily accessible and adequate supply of safe and quality blood and blood components collected, procured from a voluntary non-remunerated regular blood donor in well-equipped premises, which is free from transfusion-transmitted infections, and is stored and transported under optimum conditions. Transfusion under supervision of trained personnel for all who need it irrespective of their economic or social status through comprehensive, efficient and a total quality management approach will be ensured under the policy. Important objectives of the policy. To reiterate firmly the government commitment to provide safe and adequate quantity of blood, blood components and blood products. To make available adequate resources to develop and reorganize the blood transfusion services in the entire country. To make latest technology available for operating the blood transfusion services and ensure its functioning in an updated manner. To launch extensive awareness programs for donor information, education, motivation, recruitment and retention in order to ensure adequate availability of safe blood. To encourage appropriate clinical use of blood and blood products. To strengthen the manpower through human resource development. 3. Godavari to be declared national waterway. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 1. Indian Geography, Transport and Communication across India. Why recently in news? The centre agreed to include the stretch of the river Godavari from Nasik in Maharashtra to Rajahmundry in Andhra Pradesh in the revised National Waterways Bill, 2015. The National Waterways Bill was tabled in the Parliament in May for declaring an additional 101 inland waterways as national waterways. The bill was examined by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Transport, Tourism, and Culture. It recommended a revised bill be tabled during the next session by including the stretch of Godavari from Nasik to Rajahmundry. National Waterway 4, NW4. The Kakinada-Puducherry stretch of canals. And the Kaluvali Tank. Bhadrachalam, Rajahmundry stretch of river Godavari and Wazirabad, Vijayawada stretch of river Krishna has been declared as National Waterways number 4. 4. India takes another important step towards fiscal federalism. This topic will be important under General Studies Paper 3. Indian Economy and Issues Relating to Planning, Mobilization of Resources, Growth, Development and Employment. Why recently in news? The first auction of state government debt to foreign investors. The Reserve Bank of India said last month it will allow foreign portfolio investors to buy subnational debt. The central bank has capped the amount of state debt that can be sold to foreigners. So India may not immediately face the sort of problems China has had to, thanks to a large stock of local debt that now threatens financial stability. What is fiscal federalism? Fiscal state governments through money. The federal government determines how much money will be given to a state, under what conditions the money will be given, and what the state can do with the money. The states now rely on federal money, and the federal government relies on the states to administer some federal programs and policies. The federal government is now involved in matters such as health care, education, and transportation.